We know there is one thing holding you back from making money with your blog. And we know this because we have a combined 28 years of blogging experience between us. I'm Victoria.
And I'm Francesca. And today we're going to be dissecting this one thing and giving you the steps on how to fix it and overcome it.
Yes, we have 9 amazing steps. And I know what you're thinking. What is this one thing? Listen, the one thing holding you back from making money online with your blog, but also social media, YouTube, and all the places is aesthetics. Because I know you have an amazing idea, right? You have this idea, you probably haven't started, or maybe you started and you stopped because you're just not happy with how things are looking, how they're feeling. And quite frankly, maybe people aren't liking your videos or sharing your post on social media. And your blog is a ghost town because no one is visiting and you're having no clicks. But we're here to tell you all roads lead back to you overthinking your branding and your aesthetics. So, Fran, why is it that folks just don't get started? I mean, forget starting and stopping in the middle. Why don't they start at all?
I think a big part of it is comparison. We see everybody doing everything that looks so perfect, and we think that we also have to be so perfect to start, and it stops people. There's paralysis from that comparison. And the thing is that you can't judge your starting point with somebody else. I don't know, like they've been doing this for 10 years. Obviously, it's going to look different, and that is totally valid and okay. And I think that it took me so long to let go of aesthetics. I'm definitely a perfectionist, but I am reformed now, and I have let go of a
Lies.
lot of that.
I'm joking. She's come a long way, folks. She's come a long way. She's
I
come a
have
long
come a
way.
long way.
But then there's some people who are like me, they actually start. Okay, type A Capricorn. I'm just going to jump in the deep end. I'm going to start. However, if I'm being completely 100 with you all, I have started several blogs in my past, but I stopped completely. It wasn't getting reach, it wasn't getting traction. Most times I just wasn't happy with how it was looking and feeling because I was very caught up in aesthetics. I also didn't give it enough time. But again, we have the people we see out there, we're inspired by, their thing looks cute. But like Fran said, we rarely ever think, okay, this person has been doing it for 3 years, 5 years, sometimes 10 years. There's this one girl, I looked at her page and come to find out she has been blogging for over 12 years. So how on earth am I expected as a baby blogger at the time to have a blog that is as polished and squared away as hers? So I think Fran is right about comparison.
Yeah, and actually, I was never the person that, even though I am a perfectionist, I was never the person that let perfection hold me back from starting. I just started. I would post videos, and yeah, my quality was absolute crap. And, if I look back at those videos right now, I would cringe, literally cringe. They were so bad. The sound was bad. The video was bad, but I was still making the content. The thing is that all throughout, whether it was blog posts or the aesthetics of the blogs or the video content or even social media, for me, it was always about comparison. I was posting and I was doing it, but in the back of my mind, like that comparison bug was always there. And I think that does hold you back, even if you are posting, because you're not posting from a true and like authentic point of view, because you're always still doing it through that comparison lens. So either way, whether you are doing it and you're still comparing, or you didn't post and you're still comparing, I think both ways it's really holding you back.
100%. But I also want to throw in here, Fran is really good at design. Like she really is good. She has an eye for detail. She knows her colors. She knows what goes good together. Me, on the other hand, I have a vision in my head, but when it comes to the execution on the creative side, I'm not necessarily the best. All right. I know my strengths. It's the structure, it's the organization, but the execution, your girl has to hire someone for the big visions and dreams in her head. With that in mind, I have to tell you, I've spent money. I've spent money hiring people. And by the way, they do great work, but I spent money hiring people to design things and do things for me for an idea I haven't fully fleshed out, but I also haven't sat with it for some time. Because going back to the fact that, again, I really do care about the aesthetics, I want things to look a certain way. I then hire someone, have new blog idea, and said, okay, we're doing blog A. I want a logo looking like this. I want a brand kit. I need this. I need fonts. I need everything. And I spent all this money up front or in the early days without spending time with my blog. And I know that people out here watching who've probably spent money on themes, maybe a logo design, maybe a brand kit, whether they got it on Etsy or they got it from someone on Creative Market, or you hired a person like I have with some projects and you haven't sat with it for some time. Hear me out. If you are following the steps to set up your WordPress blog from scratch, so if you're watching the WordPress course, okay, you know we have been showing you how to set stuff up and have it looking cute from the jump, but we're also telling you to give it time and be patient because you will get the website of your dreams one day. way, and you will have it looking like the theme. Either you're working with a free theme that we're promoting, or if you purchase a theme, that is fine. You will get it to that point in time. But in the beginning, you should not be wasting time. And yes, it's a waste of time. You should not be wasting time and money buying all these things for a new blog, for something you haven't validated yet, for something you haven't practiced yet, and knowing that you're going to stick with in the long term.
I think also when it comes to how you brand your site, it's important to know one thing. You're going to want to change it. I don't know if it's just me, maybe I'm weird, but I have changed my blog theme, colors, like the whole brand vibe and identity at least, I don't know, 8, 10 times. After a couple of years, it's like, you know what? It's time for a change. And you're going to go through that as well, even though it's important. I'm not saying that having something that looks clean and cohesive is not important. And we'll get to that in some of the steps that we're going to give you some recommendations at the end, but it's not as important as, like, you're not marrying your brand color palette. You know what I mean? You're going to change it and it is totally fine. And just, you need to have fun with it. I think it's also important to know that part of your branding identity should be fun for you. Like, you should like being in it at the moment. And the moment that that changes, it's fine.
100%. We definitely have to get more comfortable with that fact. And let us know in the comments, okay? If you are an existing blogger, you've been blogging for some time, whether you have a baby blog or you're a big time blogger now, let us know how many times have you changed your website's look, theme, vibe, aesthetics, all the things. We would love to hear from you. And also, shamelessly, just so we don't feel alone in this, okay? Because I've changed it a million times. Another thing I have in my notes is prioritizing the aesthetics and not the SEO. Because again, if you're watching this, odds are you want to have a blog that you can make money from. Okay. I have to again admit, I had my dream site, loved it down, loved it. And we're going to have a whole other video about why WordPress is the best for blogging. I had my blog on Showit. How did I end up on Showit? I was on WordPress before. I went to Showit because I saw a website that was looking cute. I saw a course creator, and you know, over here, we don't love the courses, okay? A course creator was recommending this platform, but also the, the theme, the design from a specific designer, which, by the way, love the designers down. Again, it was my dream site. It was giving everything. Now, look, I wanted to make money from my blog, but this platform and the theme I had was not setting me up for success. Then I had to move, which, by the way, when I moved from Showit back to WordPress, this was like my 5th move with the same blog. In previous iterations, when I purchased themes from Creative Market, Etsy, on WordPress itself, because back in the day you could from vendors directly, I would get caught up in the drag and drop themes, using all the blocks, all the things, and I just went nuts, right? Content structure wise, it made no sense. But for me wise, it was cute, okay? It was looking good. It was giving all the feels, all the vibes. But your girl wasn't ranking. It was crickets, if I'm honest. In the beginning, crickets. When I did start to grow, it was just the fact that no one was talking about that one thing. So of course I'm there. When I look back at some of that stuff, and I do have some of the old blog posts, I cringe. I kid you not, I cringe. I was like, no wonder this was getting no traffic. It looked cute, but no wonder it wasn't getting any traffic. How does Google or any search engine or platform know what I'm talking about? It was insane.
I had the exact same problem. It is so weird now to look back. And I think maybe it's like that, wanting to perfectionist and wanting everything to have like cute design. I look back and I made so many mistakes when it comes to that I completely understand why nothing was ranking. And same like Victoria, I had things that would rank and it was sheer dumb luck, because there was a period of time where I was getting some decent traffic. And again, just dumb luck. Because when I look back at those things, it's like, what were you thinking? Like, how did you think this was good structure? Or even going back to design, I had so much stuff. Like, the pages would take forever to load. Like, I remember even being out in the wild and having somebody that I met that knew the site and them telling me, oh my God, your site takes so long to load or so long to open. And I'm over here, yeah, but it looks cute. And once it loads, everything is how I want it. And I was fine with that. Like, to me right now, that is wild and insane, because I didn't understand what was the importance of these things. Also, mobile responsiveness and having the things that you're designing look cute on mobile, because I knew that they weren't, especially when I was using some of those page builders like Elementor, were a hot mess on mobile. And this is buying templates from people and then loading that template and just tweaking a couple of things and me thinking, oh, this looks really nice. And then you would go on mobile on that page and it was not working. So obviously there were so many mistakes that were tied to design that they are too long to list. And even going to something like social media, same thing. Everything everything was always about aesthetics and design and not understanding what is the role of these things in how you get traffic, and then that traffic translates to money. And honestly, there is a happy medium and a compromise. I'm not here to tell you that you need to forget completely about everything and you can't have things look cute, but there has to be a happy compromise so that you are still getting the performance and the traffic and the money, and you can still be happy with what things look like.
100%. But can we have a sidebar and talk about those people we buy themes from that didn't have mobile ready? Like, I was livid. Like,
90%, no, 95% of them. I have bought from many designers.
what's wrong with these people? Like, look, we love the designs, they're cute. But why am I spending majority of my time tweaking the mobile version? Like, especially in this day and age. And listen, I mean this day and age, like people are dropping new theme designs and I'm like, this is cute. And then you hop over to mobile and you're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, sidebar complete. But I just needed to get that out there because okay, all right, back to the notes. So Fran had just said that there is a happy compromise, and yes, there is a compromise. So let me tell you how we found that compromise. We can have our pages look cute, and I don't mean all the pages, some of the pages. And again, we get into all about pages and posting, especially if you're watching the WordPress tutorial. Look, even if you already have a WordPress site up and running, I still think it's worth watching the videos, okay? Because we also get into settings and things that are very important. So you're good on the back end so that you can get the traffic and make money. So if you have something existing, it's worth watching. If you're a newbie, definitely recommended watching. But on that note, we do talk a bit about pages and number of pages, and we talk about blog posts. Now, going back to my first example, when I was buying regular themes from different markets, I would use the drag and drop builders. Francesca just talked about Amenta. I would use WP Bakery and all these different things. Because again, we wanted the things to look cute. But when it comes to blog posts, this is a compromise. Keep it very basic. Keep it very, very basic. But the pages is where you can make it cute. And again, we've limited our number of pages. So homepage, about page, you can have a contact page. What else am I forgetting? Oh, maybe you have a landing page. Maybe you have a freebie or a downloadable or something. Really limit your pages, but that's where you can spend some time making it cute. But again, don't overdo it. But that is a compromise. So when someone lands on your website, it's cute. We're not doing crazy long pages anymore. No, we keep it short, informational, helpful content, folks, and or blog posts, which is where the majority of our content lives. Because again, if you've been blogging for some time, you have thousands of blog posts. Right now, we are talking about Cadence, but in the future, there's going to be another platform. Some of you were maybe on Genesis. Maybe you're on some other platform. When you move from that platform, from that theme and that whole setup, you would have to redo all your blog posts. So we are saying keep the blog post simple, regular Gutenberg. That way, when the time comes and you need to make a change, you only have about 5 to 9 pages, maybe 12 if you're heavy, to fix, as opposed to thousands of blog posts.
And I am here to be the cautionary tale because I did this with so many things. So for example, I installed a custom plugin that was very specific to something that I wanted to show up on the blog post. And guess what? That plugin then became something that was really dragging the site and it had to be removed. So now I have lots of thousands. That's all I'm going to say. Lots of thousands of blog posts that have not been edited because who's got time for that? Like, slowly, a couple are getting updated every month. But you know how long that's going to take to update for thousands of blog posts? Forever. So I think the most important thing is don't take shortcuts is really the main thing that I want to give you, because my thing with that plugin was a shortcut. I didn't have to. It was really cute because I could just bring in information from that plugin, like do it once and then it comes in from that plugin and I don't have to rebuild it. But then that meant that when the time comes that no longer serves you, now you're going to have all this work to do. So cautionary tale. And like Victoria said, right now we're using Cadence. The moment you stop using Cadence, now you're going to have all of these blocks, because remember, Cadence is a theme and block plugin. So the moment you want to not be using Cadence blocks, or I don't know, the company goes out of business and that plugin is no longer maintained, because remember, plugins have to be maintained by the creator or the developer, and plugins have interactions with other plugins on your site. So if anything happens and that now becomes a problem and you have to remove it, then all of those blocks are going to have a problem. So I think that the most important thing you can do is future-proof your blog posts so that you don't have to ever have the need to go into them to edit something just for the design aspect of them, which means that you're going to be using WordPress blocks just strictly for your blog posts, because that's always going to work, right? WordPress will always make sure that their blocks are working from their editor. So I think that that is a very important decision here. Yes, the aesthetics are going to be cuter if you can use something like Cadence blocks or any of these things. And there are even designers selling you Cadence blocks for blog posts. And I really discourage you from doing that only because of this issue. You will eventually run run into this problem, because as much as I used Genesis also for many, many years, and I thought that it was the greatest thing and it was so great and it was wonderful and I could do all these things. And they also had a lot of different little plugins for certain things. Like they had the Genesis newsletter thing and the Genesis social sharing and a lot of parts. And then I ended up with broken code, which then I had to hire a developer to fix that broken code. So I didn't have to go in and fix all of those posts. And then if I changed my theme again, that had to be reinstalled and I had to call that developer again to fix my code again. So like you're going to run into so many problems. So keep it simple from the beginning and you're going to have less headaches for sure. So I think that is very important that you do it from the start.
Listen, learn from us, right? Seriously, learn from us. That should be the title of the video. We made these mistakes. You don't have to just trust the process. I know you see lots of websites out there looking cute. I promise you, they're not getting the traffic. They're not making the money like that. And the websites that do, they compromise. They have a few pages that are very beautifully styled. Everything else is bare bones because, okay, come here. You know how sometimes when you Google something and you land on a website, if you've been doing this for some time, you know it's a blog. And this website is ugly, okay? It has nothing about it. It is not cute. It is bare bones. However, that's the website that was on the first page. It was probably number 1 or in the top 3 or 5 results that you got. It is because it's light on the back end. That's why it's not all that cute. So if you happen to run into those websites, that's why. So like Fran said, keep it very simple. We're saving you from yourself. We're helping you to future-proof, not just in the age of AI, but for future platforms as well. So, learn from us.
And definitely that will also translate into you making less money, because all
Yes.
of these things either will confuse Google, because some of those things, going back to aesthetics, I was using subheadings and headings, your heading settings or your heading blocks, purely for aesthetic. This font looks cute here. And guess what? Google was probably like, I have no idea what this girl is talking about in this blog post, because headings are meant for a hierarchy of information so that Google knows what you're talking about. So if Google can't understand it, it's not going to show it on search results. That means you will not get traffic, and that means you will not get money.
Listen, 2 weeks ago, I found this blog post in the archive, and when I tell you, it was all H1 headers. Listen, if you've been blogging for some time, you know what's going on here. All H1, every single one, at least a dozen headers. And I was like, what was I thinking? And then the theme I had at the time, and I was like, yeah, girl, you wanted this to be cute.
For me, it was like there was an H2 at the top, and then there was an H1, and there was an H5, and then there was an H3, because it was all about, I'm going to set up my fonts on the back end a certain way so that I can quickly get to them.
Yes, I think I had an H4 or 5 that was like this cutesy script. That is at the top, sis. Then I had an H2 and then a what? Listen, let us know in the comments, because we aren't the only ones who left money on the table. Yes, like don't make me feel alone. All right, let us know in the comments. Another big thing I have on the list, okay, and it goes back to aesthetics. Let me take you all the way back to my current blog, the very first iteration. I wanted it to look like a magazine, okay? I wanted magazine vibes, cutesy, grids, big one, just all the things. And all I was using was stock photography. I kid you not. Stock photography 100%. I might download a product image here or there, make a little collage, a little cutesy thing for my niche. I would download, the product images online, all the things. Zero original photography, because again, I wanted it to look cute. Now, in the age of AI, but also in general, because this wasn't something I was thinking about back then, which would have been helpful, is having original photography matters. Like it really mattered back then, but it really matters now, especially in the age of AI. There are so many stock photography companies out there, right? I had a subscription to some of them, and the photos are cute. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie, like they are cute. However, at the end of the day, there are multiple people using these, even if it's premium. It's just the bottom line. So unless you have a budget where you have a photographer taking professional photos that are original to you and no one else has it, again, if you have that budget, come, let's be friends, okay? Come co-work with us, because I need some of those resources. I ain't even gonna lie. That's the only way you should be using super high-end photos. But even then, if you do have that budget, I would say come friend. Let me tell you something. Some of those photos are cute, but you also need to post realistic photos, because in the age of AI, it is important for people to see what the real is. I love a food blogger. I love how they have a unique style to their photos. I think some food bloggers out there are amazing photographers, because I know they do the stuff themselves. However, now in the age of AI, I would say to my food blogger friend, I would say, sis, come here. I think you need to also include some photos when the cake middle fell. Because, if you're a baker, because I'm a baking girl, sometimes the middle sinks. Sometimes the cake cracks really bad. Sometimes you cut the slice and it looks like it's coming out good and then it completely collapses. I'm just using baking as an example because I do this in my real life. And no, I don't have a baking blog. However, I do love baking. Let us see the fails, especially when you're recipe testing, because I will recipe test things, and I'm telling you, cracks, all kinds of things, just epic fails. Sometimes the flavor is awful. Those are the real experiences people want to see. If you're teaching something, show some of the flaws as well. Because also, in the age of AI, there's also AI generated images. And I know it looks bad right now and you can't tell, but there will be a future where you can't tell it's AI generated. We're already getting there, but I'm saying it's going to get to a point where you can't tell the difference between that and the stock photo. But what I can tell the difference is what just a regular person taking their iPhone and taking a photo or taking a behind the scene thing of a fail.
Yeah, and I absolutely think it also adds a human element of connection, because the more you're letting them into your life and what you do and the things that work and the things that don't work, they actually can feel like they have a connection to you. So I think that that also is something that you can achieve by having original photography versus stock photography.
100%. So just take our advice, use your phone, take those photos. I know they're not perfect, but that is what is going to connect with readers because they want to see realistic things. Okay. They really, really do. Okay. Let's see where we are in the notes. Ooh, I know Fran has a lot of takes on this one. Okay. So we were talking a lot about blogging aesthetics. We lightly touched on social media, but we really need to deep dive that from an aesthetic point of view, especially if you grew up with Instagram. I mean, I know people are coming back to Instagram now, but I saw Instagram since its inception. I remember the original photos. Okay, I even remember the photos I was sharing, and then how we progressively upped our game. And it became all about the aesthetics in really fast fashion. There's that. I also elder millennial. All right, what do you want from me? I remember when YouTube became a thing. Okay, I do. And I remember the origins of YouTube, how it started, and then how YouTube also upped its game. YouTube at its prime was top tier production level. I don't know how these bloggers were doing it when I really think about back then and the editing and the detail. Needless to say, whatever platform there is content creation, there is going to be a certain aesthetic to it. And I know what you're thinking. TikTok was like the bottom of the barrel. I think TikTok resonated at the time when it did because everything else was so aesthetic. But on TikTok, people felt like they could get the real. So it kind of leans into what we're saying about the stock photography versus original photography. Does TikTok still have an aesthetic? 100%. But we don't want you getting too caught up in the social media. No matter what platform you're on and what will come out in the future, it will all have its aesthetic. But don't get too caught up in prioritizing the aesthetic. Just put out your best content out there and just get started and just try.
That is the most important. And again, it goes back to the first point I talked about, which is comparison. We're always comparing ourselves to someone else. And I feel like that is the first thing you need to let go of. You're going to put out whatever is the best content that you can put out. So there's still going to be whatever is your best performance, whether that is the lighting, the location, what you're wearing. It doesn't really matter. People are here for you. And I think, again, older millennial too. Also, I am so hung up with everything has to be perfect. Like if I'm showing my house, everything has to be clean. But guess what? My house is not always that clean and put together, and that is fine. So, for example, it is also something that I am now learning to be okay if I have to show up on a live video somewhere or even just recording video, especially when I would like record stories and things like that. Like I used to have to put on full face of makeup to record an Instagram story. Please don't do that. Like I will show up to a live video right now without makeup on, and that is fine. Like you're going to get me how you're getting me that day. If I feel cute and I want to put some makeup, you're going to get that. If I don't, I don't. So I think that the most important is that you show up authentically as yourself and people will connect to that. Like just think back at the content that you consume and tell me how much of that content is really everything perfect. All the houses are perfectly clean. Like, there's so many people that I follow and I watch their content and I am zoned in on what they're saying and there's dirty dishes in the background and that is fine. But obviously you will adjust your social media presence for what is right for you and what you want to do and how much you want to show and what you want to show so that you will craft that experience for your viewers. But just know that you don't have to conform to a specific setting or a specific look and an aesthetic. Just put out the content. If you're just filming on your phone and you think that, oh, I should have a better camera because the quality of my videos is going to be different, just put out the videos with your phone. You can edit with your phone. There's so many apps now too that can enhance a little bit the quality of the audio, studio sound, the lighting, and adjust things just to get it out there and start posting the content. And it's fine if you cringe at your first video or at your first piece of content. That is totally fine. We've all been there. We've all gone through it. Like Victoria was saying before, she's cringing at old blog posts that she's going into. I do the same. I cringe at my old videos or my old Instagram photos. Like I was just looking through Instagram photos the other day because I needed to update create a blog post, and I knew I had a specific photo that I had posted on Instagram. So I'm like looking through 2017 and I was just cringing. It's there. And that is fine. It is part of the process, it's part of the experience, and it's part of the growth. And I think you need to not only embrace that, but enjoy that. Like, you know what? As much as I cringe, it's fun to look back at that and see how far you've come and what you've changed and how comfortable also you are now versus what you were comfortable with before. It's all part of growth and it's all part of the experience. So embrace it and enjoy it.
Yes, absolutely. Just get started. And to be quite frank, I don't mind looking back sometimes at the old photos because I like that glow up. And one thing is for certain, readers love going along on a journey. So whether you're doing written content, video content, a combination, people want to be taken on that journey. So yeah, you're going to keep watching and you're going to see me glow up. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I want to glow up too. So again, just get started with what you have and where you are right now. However, we've been talking a lot about just the different things, and I hope like our sharing will give you the permission to just go ahead and create content. We've had some versions that were quite horrendous. However, looking back again, we can see growth, and growth is important. But we do want to share with you 9 tips that can really help you get going. And these are kind of rapid fire. The first one is definitely, I want you to think about consistency and not perfection. So in this case, like I said earlier, you spend so much time in the ideation phase. You even get to the point of maybe hiring someone and buying a bunch of themes and designs and things. However, you haven't even spent enough time with it. My advice, especially if you're a newbie blogger, how about you try blog posting every week for a whole year before you decide, okay, maybe I still love this, so now I'm going to invest in a cute design for something. Again, there is that balance, which we've talked about, but give yourself time. Consistency is more important.
The next thing, especially when we're talking blogs, is fonts, because you need to make sure that your content is easy to read for people. Don't overdo it. Just pick 2 fonts. One is going to be your main font and one is your accent font. Use Google Fonts, which is always free and it already comes with WordPress, so you don't have to install anything extra. And then use those same fonts in any graphics or anything you're sharing on social media. So just stick to 2 and call it a day. You can always worry about changing or upgrading or fancy things later on. Right now, keep it simple.
Yes, the third thing we want you to do is limit your color palette. I know you get excited when you see colors. I know I do. So definitely limit your palette. We are recommending you pick 2 to 3 main colors. Now, good news, if you're not good at mixing and matching colors, we are here to the rescue, okay? We have some branding kits for you. And what I love the most about them is that the colors all look good cohesively together. So there are 15 branding boards in this downloadable. So you can just close your eyes and pick one. And then again, in a year or 2, you can switch to a different branding board if you like a different look. But if you're doing it yourself, 2 to 3 main colors, think neutrals, think your favorite hues as well. Also think accent colors for buttons and links. Again, too many colors is chaotic. Too few is not enough and things don't feel cohesive. But again, if you're not really good with colors like I am, get our branding boards, link in the video's description.
And the great part about the branding boards is it also gives you font pairing. So you have everything you need right there. You don't have to think about it at all. Now, the next thing that I definitely recommend, because you are going to be creating graphics, is to set up your branding kit inside of Canva. That means setting up your colors as part of the branding kit in Canva, setting up your fonts as part of your branding kit in Canva, upload your logo files as part of your branding kit in Canva. And that will make it so that it's easily accessible for you to include any of those elements in any design that you're doing with consistency without you having to go and look for that information every single time.
I love Canva and just having everything over there. But when you're working on your blog and you're on your WordPress with the back end stuff, a really cool thing about Cadence, which again, if you haven't already, check out our video about setting up your WordPress with Cadence. We walk you through all the steps. The good thing with Cadence is that they have a global palette. So when you're using the Cadence theme, you can preset your fonts, you can preset your colors and where you want them to show up. What's your main color? What's your accent color? What's your font color? All in the customizer. That way, when you're creating content, everything is automatically applied. Now, can you override it in some instances? Absolutely. But if you want something quick and easy and just built in, this is where Cadence's global styles come in. And again, if you check out our tutorial, we walk you through us using the very colors from the branding boards in our Cadence global palette.
Now, another thing that I know a lot of you get hung up on is your logo. Like, I know you're spending too much time either browsing through pre-made logos to buy or looking for a designer, maybe on Fiverr, that you're going to hire and have them design your logo. It is not necessary for you to go out and spend $500 on a logo right now, because at the end of the day, unless you are a design studio, your blog is about you. You are the brand, you are the vibe, and your content content is what's going to deliver that for people, not your logo.
And please don't spend money buying branding kits. I know there's some designers out there selling you these pre-made kits, and you can get it for free. Download or branding board. And kind of feeding into that, the other thing is that folks tend to get in this trap of over-designing and tweaking and fixing and never really getting going. Again, perfectionism often equals procrastination because you are waiting until you get it perfect. And it's true with design, it's true with tools. Okay, I'll record videos when I get the right camera. Okay, I'll do the blog post when I get my colors right. All these things are just leading you to procrastinating. So just get started with what you have, get going with what you have. Again, if you're not good with colors and mixing and matching fonts and designing your logo, again, all of that is in the branding kit. It has everything you need to just get up and going because we don't want you procrastinating. All right. So we're providing you with the tools and services, not just advice.
And now, something else you can do so you're not running around looking for this information all the time because you may need it in other places is to create a page inside of Notion where you can reference all of your settings and all of the important things that you want to have handy. So, especially things like your branding board and your branding kit, that could also be stored in Notion. And actually, one other thing that I wanted to mention, because Victoria said if you are not good with design, you can use the pre made templates. I would even venture to say if you are good with design, because even if you're good with design, chances are you spend a lot of time looking at these things and putting them together because you are a designer and you want everything to be perfect. So even if you are a designer, it is still holding you back because it's wasting time. So get started, and then you can always at your leisure work on something and just give your site a glow up.
Yes, and you know I'm here for a glow up. So yes, even the pros need help too. And the last thing we want you to know to help you get over the overwhelm is to have and use templates. So from Pinterest templates to email header templates to social media templates, all the things, if you can build a template or download a template or use a free template and you customize it and you make it your own, that is your best friend. Because the good news is consistency with templates also means consistency with your brand everywhere. But I also want to let you know it will allow for consistency with your content creation. Because fun fact, I know, okay, there is a school of thought that you need to customize everything for every platform, and that is true. But when you are a beginner or you're a solopreneur and you're on that one journey by yourself, it's just you don't have someone to delegate tasks to, it is crucial that you are consistent more than anyone else. So even if you're reusing the same template and you're simply swapping out the title and swapping out the image and rotating between colors, I'm telling you that done is better than perfect because that's what your girl does with all her blog posts, okay? My Pinterest templates, standard. Banner image, when I'm resizing all my photos that I take with my phone, it is set in Canva. I upload, I swap out, download, set it, forget it, and keep it pushing. So it's good for consistency from a reader point of view, but because you are creating the content and you need to get that out there, it will help you to go faster too. So in summary, consistency over overthinking and trying to create couture, okay? You're not a fashion house. Go with 2 fonts only, 2 to 3 main colors, and then maybe add an accent color or 2 there. Cadence Global Styles is going to be your best friend, so everything on the blog is automatically applied and you're branded. Canva brand kit, okay? Get it, set it, get it done. Don't invest in pricey logo design. Don't hire anyone right now, especially in the beginning. Don't get those brand kits, not right now. You just need to get going. Don't spend too much time over designing as well. Keep everything in Notion. Just have that one page where you can always find it and reference. So again, you can go faster. And finally, lean into those reusable templates to get you going. So again, hopefully this helps you move from overwhelm to ready to get going. Again, snag those brand boards. You have 15 options. They're in the video's description. Also, and we didn't mention this, but this is, if you're watching at the end, good for you. Lightroom presets. We have a Lightroom preset bundle as well. So if you take photos with your phone and the lighting wasn't lighting on that day, you're not happy with it, you can apply those presets. You download Lightroom for free and you can use those presets, and one tap, your photo literally will glow up. So that is also helpful too. All right, last thing to kind of wrap things up is we shared all these different things on what you can do and what is working right now, and also to help you get started. But the biggest thing about being a blogger is that you have to be open to change, because things are going to change and we're going to come back on here and we're going to be telling you something different. I mean, friend, tell the peoples how important change is.
I think that is the biggest takeaway from this video. If you hear about any of the mistakes we've made and all the things we talked about in the beginning, you also know we've gone through a lot of change. And guess what? In the age of AI, in my opinion, the change is going to come at us so so fast that if we're not already very flexible to changing things around, even if something was working really well up to last year, and I think bloggers, especially if you've been blogging for a while, you're so used to like the normal ups and downs, you don't think about it too much and you don't think maybe I need to pivot. And I think right now is such a crucial time because so many bloggers, in my opinion, are stuck in that mentality where they think that they just need to get through this bump as opposed to thinking we need to shift our mindset and our content. So I think being flexible, be flexible with learning, be flexible with understanding what is happening in the world of blogging and content creation, and just start to adapt early. Don't be one of those late people adapting, because let me tell you, I was also late to adapting to going on Instagram. I got on TikTok early, but then I thought, why am I going to post my kind of content so early on TikTok when it was just kids dancing? And I didn't, and I regret that. So don't be that person going late to the change, because we've also done that. Just work with change, be flexible with it, and it's not bad. Like, just don't be scared of it.
Definitely don't be scared of it, but also find like-minded people, which is why we work so well together. We co-work every day. We keep each other updated. And that, I think, is also an amazing way for you to stay in the know and not be too afraid. Because when you have someone who's talking things through with you, maybe someone jumps off into the deep end and then they swim back and we come back and we say, hey, listen, not too scary out there. We did spot a shark or two. However, there's this nice platform that we can climb up on. So we don't have to be down there with the sharks. So definitely get a co-working group. We invite you to come co-work with us, right? We will keep you in the know. We'll share everything we know along the way. And we hope you will share what you know in the comments as well. Let us know what's going on, because we consider you or co-workers too. So yeah, we would love to hear from you.
Also, one last thing is don't be scared of failing, because I think it's also such an important part of the process that we become very comfortable with failing in public. If something doesn't work, if you post a piece of content or if you post a blog post and that flops, that's okay. So learn to be okay with that. I think that is also going to be an important part of your journey and part of your learning to cope with change. It's also learning to cope with failure. Embrace failure, be excited for it, because that just means that that is something that you can learn from and then do better.
Yes, and by the way, just because we spotted some sharks out there doesn't mean you didn't get stung by a jellyfish. I'm just saying. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, you learn these things along the way. Not everything is smooth sailing. But I think, again, because blogging is so solitary, you do it by yourself at the end of the day, unless you're a part of a blogging group. But even then, there's some things you have to do by yourself. But it goes back to having that group. So if you're not a part of a blogging group, have a co-working group. Because when you're alone in your head, I know it can get wild up there. Trust me, it can get wild. I get it. So this is what we're doing. We're hoping to build a wonderful community with all of you where we're sharing and we're learning and we're growing together. So you don't have to be scared, okay? Just come hang out with us and we'll tell you what we know, but we also want you to tell us what you know too. Yeah, come tell us, come tell us. Okay, so I think that's it for this one. I know that was a lot, okay? We need a big breath in. Whew. Okay, reset everyone. I know that was a lot, but again, just subscribe to the channel and take advantage of those resources in the video's description. However, we want you to hang around because in the next video, we are going to talk about something that might be plaguing some current bloggers today. And that is you're at a point where you're confronting the decision to delete your old blog and maybe start from scratch, or maybe you're in the gutter right now and you're like, what do I do with this blog? It's not working, it's not happening. We want you to watch that video before you consider deleting everything, okay? Because again, we have experiences for days. So we're going to talk all about what you should think about before deleting your blog, starting over, or just, completely scrapping it and just throwing away all your hard work and all your content. So be sure to check that video out. But in the meantime, like the video, share the video, tell a friend to tell a friend, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.
Bye.